What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Yuri, aka Russian Prototype. I always have to make sure of what date is today. Today is September 9th, Thursday, September 9th, year 2021. And tonight's topic is the role of humor in a happy relationship. Now, look, this is near and dear to my heart because a lot of you, I think, still like a lot of people in my community, a lot of prototypes know me kind of in a different way. I think that I show some like flashes of humor here and there, but my friends, I think a lot of my friends know me in a very different way. A lot of my friends know as this kind of a goofy, humorous guy who uh, always looks for opportunity to have a good time. And I'm coming from a place, not just my country, but the environment and the neighborhood that I grew up in and people that I've been associated with and school that I went to was filled with humor one way or another. There was always humor. There was always something joyful, something fun that we were experiencing together, right? So this is a great topic for me to talk about personally because I feel like laughter is the best medicine. And actually it's a great segue because the question is, when we start talking about role of humor in a happy relationship, the first question that comes to mind is laughing actually good for you? It's a legitimate question. I think we need to know. We need to define that. And according to the mayoclinic.org, it's a stress relief, short-term stress relief and long-term stress relief, okay? And what they're saying is that short-term effects of laughter is it stimulates many organs, it activates and relieves your stress response, and it soothes your tension. And they're saying that long-term effects from laughter is improved your immune system, pain relief, increased personal satisfaction, and improving your mood. So I mean, those are pretty significant things, even if you don't believe that all of them will do it, but even if few of them will apply as to how laughter going to impact you, that is pretty significant, right? Also, thinking about it just from personal standpoint, when you interact with another individual, when what it comes to mind is that things such as charisma, sense of humor, ability to make your partner laugh or smile, for me personally, is a top priority. And I think maybe like everyone is not going to feel the same, but I think that what a lot of people will realize is that they will enjoy being around people with charisma, with sense of humor, with abilities to make, with ability, with being with a person who has the ability to make somebody laugh or smile. I think people inadvertently will be drawn towards those type of individuals, and I think big reason for it is simply that laughter makes us feel good. It's such an incredible feeling. And I think that the one of the big differences also, I put laughter and humor and ability to laugh is almost in the same category as love. Obviously, love trumps all, right? Love is love. It's the ultimate human experience. But the thing with humor is that it's more leveled than love. Because what happens when love turns the other way around? In Russia, there's a saying, there's a one step between love and hate, meaning that you can be in a loving relationship, somebody cheats on you or somebody does something stupid, then all of a sudden you go from love to potentially hate or um, resentment. But humor is not really like that. Humor is more leveled, in my opinion. You not really go from humor to hatred. If somebody's funny, they funny. you know? Um, and it's more consistent, you know? It's more consistent. When we talk about humor, another important thing that does not meet the eye that I think is very important to mention is enjoying the journey, not the destination. And how is it relevant to what we're talking about? Is because I think a lot of people get caught up in getting to the ultimate goal, getting to the ultimate personal goal, getting to personal ultimate, I mean, financial goal, getting to the ultimate spiritual goal, whatever it may be. And I think a lot of times what you've seen is that people not living in the moment. And when you're living in the moment, when you're laughing in the moment, when you are joyful in the moment, this changes the experience. And I think another reason why it's so important is because we're really not guaranteed tomorrow. We don't know where the journey will end for any one of us. That's just the reality. So why get caught up in the destination? I think it's amazing that we have goals and we should work towards goals, but I think we should smell the roses more often. And humor is an incredible remedy for humor is an incredible way to allow yourself enjoy the journey to the fullest while you're reaching for your goals, while you're going towards your destination. And one more thing I will say before I start saying hello to the prototype fam is that humorous partner is uplifting. That's why I think so many people are drawn towards people who can make other people laugh. You've been around those individuals who just walk in the room and they light up the entire room. You've been around individuals who can just be telling jokes all night at the bar or wherever they go, and everyone around them just gets uplifted. You know, you can think of an individual or two who could be like the silliest person in the world, but there's something about the way that they interact with other people. There's something about the way that they interact with the world that just brings light. It brings light. One more thing, so important in my opinion, when we're talking about humor and the role of humor in a happy relationship, it is so critical to be able to laugh at yourself and to be able to laugh with yourself. Because I think at times we're going to do some awkward things. And it's going to be like, I can't believe I just walked out of my house and I stumble upon this random object, or maybe even my own feet, and I just, you know, ended up landing on my butt. Like, that's hilarious. But there are also going to be times where you're going to be thinking of something, or random thought will pop into your mind about the future or about someone you knew, and then you're going to feel like laughing, and there'll be nobody around. And I think some individuals be like, I mean, what am I going to do, laugh? Yeah, laugh with yourself, laugh by yourself, and laugh at yourself. And if you're able to do that, then chances are you're going to be able to bring that into your relationship, and that's going to make your relationship even better. Let's see who's in the house tonight. Let's see who is in the house tonight. The prototype family. We have Becky in the house. Hello. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. We have Jamie in the house. Hi, Jamie. How's it going? We have Heather in the house. Hello. Great to see you. We have Estrella in the house. Hello, hello, hello. Great to see you, Estrella. We have Emma in the house. Appreciate you being here. Always great to see you. Let's see what we have for some comments. Remember that in order for me to see your comment, you actually have to type it in. Otherwise, you're just going to stay in the background. I'm not going to be able to know whether you're watching or not. Estrella said, "Oh, I love humor in a relationship. It is very important to me." To me as well. What good is the future if you don't enjoy the present? That is exactly what I was saying about smelling the roses and enjoying the journey itself. Enjoying the journey, because at the end of the day, that's all we have. We're not promised tomorrow. We should be in the moment. And once that mindset sets in, and once you really approach every single day as, I don't want to say your last, because I think it's hard for people to do, but at least every single day, you try to make the most of it, right? You're trying to laugh as much as you can. You're trying to enjoy yourself as much as you can. You're trying to be around people that really bring you that kind of satisfaction. That really makes a difference. Your quality of life is improving. Becky said, I think humor is very important, especially when there is stress or tension. I like to use humor to cheer my partner up. Sometimes I draw caricatures as well. Okay, nice. Yeah, and that's what this thing was saying. That stat from the Mayo Clinic is that this is a stress reliever, right? Just like a lot of people use exercise as a stress reliever, humor is a huge stress reliever, because you start laughing, you start producing some pleasure hormones in your body, your mood all of a sudden is changing. Now, all of a sudden, you're not thinking about stress anymore. You're actually releasing stress. So this is just all around. It's a lot of it. Just humor is one of those things to where it takes your mind away. So much of it is mental in life, right? So much of it is in our head. Um, there are crises, there are real challenges, real problems, of course, but so much of it just goes through our head as like just bunch of thoughts, right? It stays right here. And then, so if we're able to figure out how to bring in good things into our mind when we can, it allows us to cheer up, it allows us to release stress. Star lovers in the house, thank you for being here. I find that I can go from being mildly attracted to a guy to very attracted if he has a really good sense of humor. You know what's really funny about this? Thank you for the comment, Star Lover. My mom mentioned something about that, saying that there's a certain energy, undeniable energy, comes from a man who can make a woman laugh. And I don't know whether you're a man or woman. I suppose that I actually can say that when a woman is funny or humorous or possesses a sense of humor, I think it has the similar effect. It's not just about guy winning a girl over. I think that women who are funny, they just sexier. They just sexier because they it's like they are free, they are joyful. They pleasure to be around, you know? And I think it is a real advantage of individuals who can make other people laugh, or who can really be themselves, because I think part of the humor comes in being in embracing yourself. I think it's difficult, it's challenging for people to be humorous if they not being themselves, I believe. So I think with humor, it's not bulletproof. I'm not saying that it's always going to be 100% authentic person, but I think it shows some of the character traits that also make people feel at ease, right? Because if you humorous guy, if you guy with a sense of humor, it's a positive emotion. Chances are if that's going to dominate your personality, chances are there's not going to be space, as much space for negative emotions, you know? You're probably not going to have a lot of comedians who's going to be walking around committing crimes, right? That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? The spirit, there's something about the energy of the spirit of the individual who is able to laugh at themselves and make other people laugh. Love this conversation. Keep those comments coming. What I wanted to do today, I wanted to make it fun because we talk about humor, right? So I wanted to first start out with some pickup lines. All right. And the reason I wanted to do this, the reason I wanted to start up with some pickup lines is because everything can be a fun experience. So even before you get to a relationship, this could be a way for you to approach someone. Whether you're a man or woman, you can approach someone and say that. Okay. And then I actually think that it's a good testing mechanism. Like if you're going to approach somebody and you're going to bust one of these, which I'm going to show you in a moment, and I've used actually one of them before, right? I just might do this experiment, to be honest with you. I might do it and then report to you later. I would like to film it. It's a little bit more difficult to film, but it's worth it. It's worth for to experiment at the very least, right? So my point being, if you're going to come into someone and just use one of these pickup lines, or you'll be able to tell, especially if you execute it well, like you'll be able to tell the energy of the Nava individual. Are they not saying anything? Are they not laughing? I mean, you know, it's gonna tell you a lot about somebody that who you are talking with, and I think it's important. If humor is important to you, just like humor is important to me, then I want to be able to read that individual. I want to be able to understand the reaction, right? So let's go with the first one. I will read it and then I will show it on the screen so I don't give it away, okay? So the first one is, dang, do you play volleyball? Why? Because I want whatever you serve. Give me let's evaluate each one. How do you like this one on the scale of 1 to 10? Put volleyball dash and a number from 1 to 10. And we're going to evaluate some of these pickup lines. So look, you can approach somebody who looks athletic, right? Or who just has maybe a nice build, and you can tell them like, hey, it's an athletic joke, right? And you can just bust this one out and just see again what's the reaction. um, so how would you rank that one? How would you rank that one? Let me know. What do you give it from 1 to 10? Put volleyball dash 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest score. All right. I like volleyball 7. Okay, that's a good score. Volleyball 5. Nice. Very cool. Very cool. All right, let's go to joke number 2, the pickup line number 2. I'm gonna read it first, and then I'm gonna release it, and then you can rate it the same way. All right. So listen, this is again the way you're gonna approach someone for the very first time. On a scale of 1 to 10, you are a 9, and I am the one you need. Oh, this is good. I used that one before. I used that one before when I was at the bar. She talked to me, but I think that I didn't. I had a strong opening, and that kind of like went downhill from there. I wasn't prepared for anything else that followed afterwards. So on this one, let's just say, well, you can put scale dash 1 to 10. Volleyball. Heather did not feel volleyball. She gave it a 2. Oh my god. Volleyball, Becky, 7. Nice. Volleyball is winning so far. 2 is on the low scale. Yes, 2 is 1 and 2 is like very low. 10 is the highest. All right. So 1 is bad score, 10 is a high score. Star Lover said scale is 4. Okay, cool. I guess the scale is not as popular as the volleyball joke. Okay, cool. We're going to the next one. Yeah, Becky said scale is 4. Is it execution? Maybe the delivery wasn't great, right? Or maybe you're just not feeling the joke. All right, we're going to the third one. We're going to the third joke or third pickup line. If you were a transformer, you would be Optimus Fine. Optimus Fine. How do you rank it? If you were a transformer, you would be Optimus Fine. Oh my god. This is good. Optimus Fine. Yes or no? What is the score you giving it? What is the score you giving it? While you're thinking. Well, let's see. Let's see what people saying. Wow, Transformer is good. Transformer got some high scores. That's good. Jamie and Heather both gave it 7. Becky gave it 6. Estrella gave it 8. Dang. Somebody. If you want to approach Estrella, now you know what to do. Star Lava, Transformer 6. Bonus points for a Transformer reference. Nice. Nice. Good stuff. All right. Let's go to we have a final pickup line over here. I hope you're ready for this one. I think it's going to be a good one. Check this out. Are you a parking ticket? Because you got fine written all over you. This is our final pickup line. Are you a parking ticket? Because you've got fine written all over you. I mean, look, it could work when you approach a guy, because women say those things. He's fine. Oh, he's fine. So you can say, like, you can be in a parking lot getting out. You see this guy that looks kind of good. You come to him and you say, "You're a parking ticket." He's like, "Huh? A parking ticket?" Yeah, and you will say, "Because you got fine written all over you." And then you can adjust the attitude and just see the reaction. You just can see the reaction. Look, it's getting good ratings. Heather's giving it 7. Becky's giving it 8. That's what I'm talking about. Star Lover giving it 5. Not feeling that as much. Jamie giving it 6. Also kind of in the middle. Estrella giving it 8. Estrella really feeling last couple of jokes. And Strong Ballerina doesn't like parking apparently at all. She doesn't like to pay for parking, so she didn't give any score. So this is just to demonstrate that you can make humor out of anything. If something as silly as a pickup line can be so humorous, right? You're going to come in and execute it. You might really catch somebody's attention. And you know what I heard recently? This guy was doing a Facebook Live, and he was talking about how when he approached women, he pretends in his mind that he's a different character. He called himself, I think, like Dark Lord of Seduction or something like that. And then I was laughing at that. I was like, dude, that's hilarious. I said, when I approach somebody next time, I'm just going to pretend that I'm a Zeus. I'm just going to introduce myself. Hey, my name is Zeus, the Greek god of lightning and thunder. How are you? And his whole point was that you have to get in a character. And the whole idea behind it is that it's going to help you to get over this mental hump, right? So it's not just be silly with it. It's not just have the silly humor, but it's about to gain the confidence that you need, right? So in your mind, if you're in the character and if you continue to play that character, you stand out, right? So how can it be applicable for women? You know, what character can you portray as a woman when you approach someone and when you start in conversation with someone, right? Uh, what if you're already in the relationship, and what if you just, you know, and you just being silly and you pretend to be a Wonder Woman, right? You pretend to be a Wonder Woman. Maybe you dress up like a Wonder Woman and you act like a Wonder Woman, or you make jokes about Wonder Woman. I mean, like, it sounds silly to you, but it changes. It brings something new in the relationship, you know? It's just it just allows you to experience something new. It's like you seeing this person who is okay with having a good time. You seeing the person who's not like take themselves too seriously, right? There's a time and a place. You're not gonna do it every day necessarily, but maybe you hanging out and you're chilling. It's a weekend and you're just doing a picnic, and then you just you act like a Wonder Woman, or you dress up like a Wonder Woman, whatever. You get the idea. And that's just one example. There could be thousands of things. But I thought there was an interesting way when this guy was talking about on Facebook Live. I thought there was an interesting way to approach someone by creating this image in your head, being in a character and playing this character, because it allows you to break the ice and it allows you to kind of work, get rid of all the nerves when you're talking with somebody else. So I thought it was interesting. What are your thoughts on this? Heather said, Yuri, did you come up with this? No, I did not. I think I might have came up with the volleyball one, but everything else I got from the internet. It's like if you just Google pickup lines or best pickup lines, you're gonna have like an enormous amount of these things online. So and they actually pretty clever, a lot of them. Jamie said, or does anyone here have a good pickup line? Yes, please, if you do, put it in the comment. Estrella said, if I could rearrange the alphabet, I would put you and I together. Yes, I saw that one as well. This one was online. This is a good one. Yeah. So see, it's just like if a girl comes into me and does this, I'm going to be laughing. I'm going to be laughing because that's hilarious. Like, who would say that, right? And it's not just the pickup line itself. It's the delivery. If you're going to come in and you'll be like, if I could rearrange the alphabet, I would put you and I together. Okay, you get some credit for trying, but didn't really feel it, right? Didn't really feel it. Didn't really touch me. But if you come in and you be like, if I could rearrange the alphabet, I would put you and I together. That's a different delivery. This is a different delivery. This gets B plus at least. And then let it be what it be. Let it be what it be. Delivery matters. Star Lover, I get that. I've been making conscious effort to come across more confident, and I find I then become more confident. One way I do this is by not looking down as much when I walk. Yeah, yeah, yep, yep, yep. That's a good one for sure. And if you're not keeping an eye contact when you approach someone, people can read that. People can read that, and it's not about overthinking it. And if you're unable to do it right now, it just takes practice. It's just like being comfortable with yourself, and then approach people anyway. Everybody's going to have mistakes. You're not going to be perfect right away. It's nerve-wracking. You're talking to somebody's looking at you, right? You're looking at them. It could be kind of like nerve-wracking experience, but do it anyway. as you get your reps in, you're going to feel more comfortable. It's not like you're going to be good at talking with people if you don't talk to people. You're not going to be good at playing basketball if you never play basketball. It's the same thing. It's a social repetition. It's a social repetition. And you don't even have to think of it. And I think if you approach it as such, if you approach it as just simply putting reps in, doesn't matter if you're going to get denied. Just put the reps in. All right. It's hard. It's hard because you have to you have to get over your fears. You have to get over your insecurities, and you have to love yourself enough to know that even if you're going to get rejected, it's not about you, because you're just trying to be friendly. You're trying to say hello. It doesn't mean that the person must love you. It just means that person can respond like, "Hey, that was awesome, but I'm not available." Or they say, "Okay, maybe we'll be friends." If somebody bashes you when you're trying to approach them in a humorous way, in a respectful way, it tells more about the other person than you. I just wanted to know if anyone here had one to share. Yep, Estrella just did. Kaya in the house. Hello, Kaya. Thank you for being here. Always a pleasure. Thanks for hanging out. Estrella said, "Did you just come out of the oven because you are hot?" Well, that's a very like a direct one. That would be yeah, that would be like no doubt. No doubt left. Cool. I like that. Are you okay? You look like you fell from from heaven. Okay, don't throw tomatoes at me. No, it's a good one. So again, delivery. Are you okay? You look like you just fell from heaven. That's good. That's good. You have to get artistic with them, you know? You have to deliver. Your legs must be tired. You've been running through my mind all day. Yes, that's a good one too. That's a good one. I heard that one before too. Let's flip a coin. Heads, I'm yours. Tails, you're mine. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So many good ones. Yeah, for sure. These are really funny ones. Kai said, "That's my favorite. Aside from being sexy, what do you do for a living?" Yeah. Nice. Hi, Cheyenne. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you being here live with us. Nursing school be kicking my butt. That's all good because you can learn new pickup lines and then go out in the world and do some damage. Becky said, "I don't know any good pickup lines. I look them in the eye, smile, and hi. I see how they respond and totally wing it from there." Hey, that's the way to do it. I mean, like it's improvisation anyway. Most of it is improvisation. Even if you're going to have one line, it's just one line. The rest of it's going to have to be talk. Kiss me if I'm wrong, but dinosaurs still exist, right? Nice. Oh, pickup lines. I love this one to use on men. Sir, can you please call the police because I'm about to steal your heart? Oh, that's good. Uh, if it gets their heart beating fast and then they blush real hard, that's so funny. That's so funny. The worst pickup line I've heard. Are you part Norwegian? Would you like some Norwegian in you? Oh my goodness. Yeah, the sexual ones. The sexual ones are strong ones. So this entire thing would not be completed without me telling you some Russian jokes, right? Um, so these Russian jokes, they come from humoropedia.com, and they they basically have some Russian cultural elements within each joke. So let's give it a try and see how you feel about them. Again, I'm going to read it first to you, and then I'm going to Just kind of get your opinion on whether you think it's funny or not. So the first Russian joke is, did you hear Apple is releasing a self-driving vehicle exclusively in Russia? It's called the Ivan. Ivan, get it? Russian name, Ivan. I thought that was funny. Now, you can use that on a Russian man or a Russian woman to kind of gauge whether or not they have some sense of humor. looks like prototypes approved that one. Ivan the Terrible. Nice. Let's go to the next one. The next one, the next Russian joke is, what do you call it when there is no internet in Russia? Internet. Нет means no in Russian. Нет. So what do you call it when there is no internet in Russia? Internet. Oh God. Oh yes. Oh my God. Let's go to the next one. Keep commenting. Keep telling me what your thoughts are about this. I don't like Russian dolls. They're so full of themselves. These are corny too. These are so corny. You know those dolls? I actually have it in my house in Florida. When you know the dolls that come out one from another. So that's what this joke is about. Hopefully you've seen them before. I think you are approving. Uh, I would mess up the words for sure if I tried to say that one. Which one? Internet? Internet? Please tell me you use better ones. I never use these ones. I just pull those up. I just pull them up. I just want to share it with you. Dad jokes. Dad jokes. Now dad jokes are pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie. Some of the dad jokes are just bad. Bad, bad, bad. All right, I think there's one more. Is there? No, maybe not. I think that's it. We had just 3 Russian jokes. All right, so let's actually move and switch gears a little bit since we talked about jokes, actual jokes. Let's talk about what that means in the context of dating or in the context of relationship, humor that is, what that means, right? And so one of the questions that um, I have, well, Felicia sent me that question, so prototype community wanted to know, what do you do if your partner does not share a sense of humor like you do? And look, I think it's a relevant question because especially when you're coming from different cultures, the sense of humor that you will have is not going to be the same. Um, and I can attest to that because, you know, I have dated people from different cultures, and it's different. It's different. So, what do you do if your partner does not share sense of humor like you do? It's not the end of the world because, quite frankly, there are some universal principles, right? If somebody is going to do something silly in public, like if somebody is going to do some funny dancing, I don't really care what culture you're from. If you're doing this funny, it's funny. If you're going to make some funny sound like Jim Carrey does in Dumb and Dumber movie, it doesn't really matter what culture you're from, it's going to be funny. Now look, it's going to come to a time potentially where you might not understand something cultural that your partner will be cracking up about, and vice versa. And I think that's not the end of the world. Now, I think that if it's becoming um, a regular thing, I think if you constantly run into situations where you just can't connect on the humor part, to where, you know, your girlfriend wants to laugh about something that is completely not funny to you, if it happens all the time, then I can see how it can lead to kind of a disconnect. But but humor is only one part of a relationship too. So humor can help build the relationship, but it's not everything. It's just one of the building blocks. So if you're not, if you do not share the exact same sense of humor, you can still build your relationship on other things besides sense of humor. And therefore, I think that it could still work. I think it could still work. Now, will you be in disadvantage, um, comparatively speaking, if you will look at people from the same culture who understand the same cultural references, understand maybe same situational jokes, understand the same irony, all of those things? Yes, yes, you will be. You will be, because there's certain things that just cannot be replaced, right? There are certain cultural things that you can just, like, if I'm going to make a reference to a Russian cartoon, or a quote from a Russian movie that you've never seen, or even if you've seen it, you don't necessarily speak the Russian language, but I'm going to say it in Russian. Obviously, only Russian people will understand that. And the good news is, though, is that, for instance, when you come into another country and you become part of the other culture, right? I can still understand, I feel like a fair share of American culture, right? So when something funny and people make jokes, for example, I crack up, watch Chris Rock and Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle, right? It's not humor for everyone, but there's so many really funny moments to where, like, they're hilarious to me, right? Um, so even though it's a different culture, I still able to relate and understand it. So I think it depends. I think it depends. I think some charisma, a true sense of humor, it can carry through a lot of things. It can sort of penetrate the cultures and different fabric of understanding, even, I would say, so that's my take on it. So what is your take on it? I would like to get your perspectives, prototypes, on this particular question. Let's see. Cheyenne, thank you for the yellow yellow comment. Appreciate that. Just figure spice it up today, make it more humorous. Internet. That's right. Cheyenne said, I have to date a guy with the same humor. Laughter makes the love go around. Yalla love to love. Even first, if I'm not attracted to guy, and then he starts making me laugh, he instantly becomes attractive. I heard that before. And I think there's a real value in humor for that reason. I think it builds connection, a real connection, because again, when you start laughing, it just changes your mood. It's hormonal. It changes your, like, the it changes it at the time, in that moment. It changes your hormones in your body, and it builds connection. Summer Dream is in the house. Hello, Summer Dream. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. What is the Russian sense of humor? I feel like Americans are known for being goofy. Germans are known for their sarcasm. But what about Russians? Russians have a lot of situational things. So when we see something that is funny, we will make fun of that. There's a lot of political humor involved, just making fun of the political system, and um, cultural things in general, right? Um, there is a lot of fun that kind of revolves around everyday life. So like one example is, um, you can you use the animals, right? You take animals and you just say, you can apply different animals names to call people, but you can do it in a funny way, right? So you can call somebody svinya, which is going to be pig, right? Depending on the context. So in America, it wouldn't be necessarily funny. There's nothing funny about calling somebody pig. But you call someone svinya in Russia, it's just different. It's not the same. And then depending on the situation, how you call somebody svinya, and you can call somebody svinya, or you can call somebody svinyushka, which svinyushka is like little pig, or you can call somebody svin. Svin is like a male pig. So there are just so many different ways you can say it. And then you can just go down the line of animals like осел, donkey. So you can say, ну ты осел, like, what a donkey are you? Like, what a dummy, you know? So you don't even have to say word dummy. You can just replace it with those animal words. And that makes this makes whole thing like you can, you know what's really funny actually, there are people who will say, who will call their dog a pig. And that's what something that Americans don't understand. Americans who are visiting, who's trying to learn Russian, like, how can you call the dog a pig? It's not because we're saying a dog a pig. We're saying that the dog behaves like a little a-hole, right? A slang would be a pig. So when you say it in Russian, people understand because it's a cultural thing to where it's just animals being used, um, to create these humorous remarks, if that makes sense, right? And then some of it also because it's contextual too. So when people hear it first, they don't understand because pig, if you look at pig as an animal, pig shits everywhere. Pig shits where it's kind of a dirty animal. Let's put it that way. And so when your dog comes back home and the dog has, a dirty paws, and somebody like Russian says, "Well, Malink, look at you like little pig." It just means that you're dirty. It's also contextual. It's not just humorous, but context matters in which way you use the language. So language, Russian language itself is very, very humor driven. Like a lot of people use that as a humor tool, and because it depends on how it's being used. So thank you for that question. But a lot of people just sarcastic. A lot of people very sarcastic, very open with their joke. They're very direct with their jokes, and they like to make fun. They make fun of other people, and sometimes it's funny because they like to dish out, but they don't like when other people make fun of them. And a lot of things just situational. Jamie said, "I have a friend like that. We have zero humor match." Yeah, it happens sometimes. Elvia, what's up? Thanks for being here. I want humor in my life. You don't have humor in your life right now? Listen, let's join live. Let's tell jokes to each other. Let's make each other laugh. We'll bring humor in our life. If not, there's a lot of Netflix documentaries. And if that doesn't work, hang out with some people who are fun. Surround yourself with fun people. Few options for you there, Elvia. Becky, my humor is generally deadpan and sometimes dark, but I can be lighter and switch it up. Yeah, there are different types of humor too. Oh, dang, is that a thing with Germans? How it makes sense. I did it a guy once. Now it makes sense. I did it a guy once, and his dad was full German, and he had sarcastic humor, and often I didn't know if he's serious or not. Yeah, actually, it's funny because um, I know someone. I mean, my brothers live in Germany, and their mom got married again to a German guy, and that German guy is super sarcastic. He's constantly trying to crack jokes. He's trying to try to be like, funny guy towards you. Even the way he talks, you can just I don't speak German, but I can understand like based on his tone of voice and mannerism that he's trying to be funny. So I guess there's a lot of truth to that. Do you guys like Key and Peele? What's Key and Peele? Is it like, I don't know who they are, I'm not familiar. I think humor is important. It's part of the joy in the relationship. 100%. 100%. LV, I think humor comes from cultural perspective. A lot of it does. Like a lot of Russian humor is cultural in nature. It was shaped by the society to a great, great degree. And a lot of people actually have sense of humor in Russia. A lot. And it's actually kind of interesting because I think Russian people have this perception, have this sort of um, when a lot of foreigners look at Russians, they have this image of Russians being super serious all the time, and that could not be furthest from the truth. I think there's a certain demeanor, which I have a video about it. You know, when people don't laugh or don't smile, but when you get to know people, when they people friends hanging out with each other, man, we bust out laughing. It is a good time. It is a great time. It's so much humor goes around. People just act a fool. So there's a lot of things that don't meet the eye about Russian people. I'm telling you, get to know some real Russian, like get to know a Russian person, and become friends with that Russian person, and see what happens with time. You're gonna find out. I think you can connect with humor even from different cultures. My boyfriend and I laugh about things all the time. His humor is rare, though. Here we go. That just goes to show that you can. I'm usually the one making him laugh. Nice. That's awesome. That is good. I'm sure he appreciates that. Heather said, one of my students farted during a quiet moment at circle time years ago. Everyone laughed, including me. This is so funny. I have to tell you. I have to tell you the story. This is embarrassing. But when I was in middle school, um, I ripped one on algebra. On algebra lesson, I did that, and I died. I could not contain myself because what happened? I was sneezing. I sneezed, so I went like, and it just happened. And my best friend was sitting right next to me because in Russian school you have like desk and then two people sitting on one desk, the larger desks, and I just could not. For one thing, like it was loud enough where few people heard it. Not the entire class heard it, but few people heard it. I think some people probably didn't know who did it, but my friend who's sitting next to me, he started laughing so hard. He started laughing so hard, and when I looked at him, I could not stop laughing. And he had, I remember this moment. I have it. I have this image in my mind. He kept pulling his sweater to his nose. He kept going like this, and he turned red, completely red. Then like my other friends were screaming from the back, like, hey Yuri, good job, good job. There was like a computer game that's called Booger Man or something, where the guy would like, the character of of the game would walk around and like fart and burp at people. And then my friend from the back of the class was like, good job Yuri Booger Man, good job Yuri Booger Man. And I was like, it was almost like unreal because it was one of those like, it was one of those situations where I could not control my laughter. You know, like most of the time you can control it, you can scale it down, you can kind of like, work through the situation. This time I could not. And so we kept going. We're like, and the teacher got to a point where it's like in five minutes or so, she just kicked me out of class. I was walking outside of class for the rest of that class, algebra. And so, it's not enough that I got embarrassed. I embarrassed myself in the class, and people were talking about me afterwards. It was the fact that I also skipped the class. So now it happened. I am so comfortable in my skin to admit that I did that, and that was one of the secrets for a long, long time. So you know what happened now. There's no way back now. Prototypes. Too much seriousness kills the spark. The right time and place is the key. Yeah, Indeed. Tara, what's up? Thanks for being here. It's probably pretty early over there in UK, but appreciate you stopping by. You need to watch the live love love Mimi. It's hilarious. Nice. It's Leave Love Love by Cassie T on YouTube. Okay, cool. I'm a screenshot that. I'm gonna screenshot that real quick if I can. Maybe my computer. Here we go. Here we go. Gotta love the MacBook Pro. It's good stuff. Um, Key and Peele are comedians can find on YouTube. They have a lot of funny skits. I think you like it. Sweet. Might have to check them out too. You're giving me some good suggestions. Appreciate that. Yuri, I meant to say I want humor in my life when I'm in relationship. Got you. Got you. Sometimes you got to let it out. Even if it's not intentional, sometimes you do. Things happen. Oh, has anyone seen Coupling and the Giggle Loop? This reminds me of that. I have not. Yuri, what age were you? I must have been probably 12, 11, 12. Between 11 and 13, somewhere in there. Oh, you in New York? Oh, did you just fly to New York? Because you were in UK, right? Well, welcome to United States. Welcome to America. Estrella, we can manage conflict with humor, I guess. We could. I think that's a good idea. We could. Is that mother in the picture behind you? No, it's a grandmother. That's my grandmother. Yuri, could you show some Russian memes you think are funny? I once messaged you on Instagram page full of them. I suppose I don't look at them to be honest with you, Heather, but I suppose I could find some. But that's not something that is usually like American memes that pop up for me. I don't look for Russian memes anymore, but maybe it's worth to revisit that. Thank you for the suggestion. No, I went from California to New York. Hold on, you not? Am I confusing you with someone else? You're not from UK? Or did you go to California first and then to New York? I thought that you lived in UK. Maybe I am confusing you with someone else. If I do, I apologize. Thank you so much, Tara. Yes, she was indeed a beautiful woman, um, internally and externally. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I don't know. I guess it was another person that I was thinking of. So Tara, you Californian, cool. Well, what do you like more, California or New York? I guess California is a great state. Great state. I went there. Although, listen, today, not to I mean, kind of like switching subjects, but today I've seen something disturbing. I think there was like a person uh, robbed, two people robbed three individuals who were sitting and having lunch. I think somewhere in like a good area, apparently in Beverly Hills area or something. They pointed guns at them. The camera from the store got that footage, and they ended up like just stealing their food and clothes, and they were masked up. So I couldn't believe during the day, apparently in a good area, um, they were at the gunpoint, and luckily they didn't get shot. But that's really really concerning. So, Yuri, what is your favorite type of humor? My favorite type of humor. Thank you for your question, Bacon. My favorite type of humor, definitely, it's situational. Is one of them. So for instance, like I remember this episode where I was in this, I was in this place in the summertime outside of my city. It's like I keep thinking of an English word for it, but anyway, it's it's the place that we would go to vacation with my dad and my brothers, and there were a bunch of students there. And at nighttime, I remember one time we were sitting on the bench. Russian benches back in the 90s were very different. So imagine as like it's a very bulky bench that has the back like wooden, made out of wood. So if you can imagine like wooden um pieces of wood stretched out for probably like 8 or 10 feet, right? And then there's a bunch of them. There's probably like 15 or 20 of them, right? And all of them make up a bench. And that bench goes, it has the back, and then it goes all the way down. It has the seat, and then even goes a little bit lower, so you don't have to, I guess to protect your um, your legs or whatever. So long story short, it's a bulky bench that people would sit on. Well, what students did, students would climb up and sit on the very edge of the bench and put their feet on the seat of the bench. So they climb up, right? And when they didn't, they it wasn't built for that purpose, right? Uh, but when they did that, they shifted the weight. They shifted the weight upwards, and so, and then on top of that, they would kind of like rock a little bit. And so one night they would rock, and then they would tilt the bench. But the way they tilt the bench, it was so funny because it was like slow motion. Like you could tell that bench is tilting. It didn't fall fast. It's like bench was tilting, but it's like they couldn't figure it out. Like they couldn't like shift the weight in time, to catch themselves to keep the bench on the ground. So like it's like you could see that they were seeing, they knew what was going on, but they couldn't stop it. But it felt like it was happening in slow motion. And then like it would tilt. They tried to do something, they couldn't, and then they like just fail. And then like it was hysterical. It was hysterical. They started laughing themselves because it was just one of those situations where it was a situational irony or just situational humor, if you want to call it. And that these are hilarious. Then I love a type of humor when people feel so comfortable within their skin, to where like I mentioned somebody dancing, somebody who is like, you sometimes you see a person on the dance floor who is just like not the best looking person or whatever, but they're just let loose and they don't care that what anybody thinks of them. And that could be so hilarious. And then I like humor when somebody just has that charisma, when somebody's just talking to people and when you can just feel that energy, again, like they know the right words to say, they know the right delivery. um I like when somebody possesses it factor. Some people just possess that it factor, right? So I like all of it. I like all of it, to be honest with you. Thank you for the question, Becky. Kaya with the super sticker, thank you so much. I appreciate you so very much. You are on fire. You literally have been, doing these super stickers this entire week, and I'm so appreciative of you. You've made my night yesterday when you sent me a message on Instagram, um, you know, acknowledging that you appreciate this community and that means a lot to you. You have no idea what that means to me. It really means the world. Your kind words, first of all, it is such an incredible, fuel for me. Plus all this additional support, it's just unreal. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Kaya. New Zealand is in the house. And I just want to remind everyone, you can support the channel by clicking the dollar sign below of this chat, and you can do it in real time, just like Kaya did, or you can go to paypal.me/Russian prototype and support the channel that way as well. I want to remind everyone that every single dollar, every single cent that I receive will be put back in the channel to improve the channel. This is how I frame it, and I appreciate your support from the bottom of my heart. Let's get to some other comments so we can keep that going before we get out of here. Tara said it's fine. It depends on the area. New York is actually very beautiful. The Adirondacks, what is Adirondacks? Are beautiful. I'm not familiar with Adirondacks. California has bad areas. New York City is bad. I live in upstate New York. It's all countryside. Cool. But you prefer California, right? I'm from Palos Verdes, California. I grew up with the Wolf of Wall Street son, Carter Belfort, and the owner of King's Hawaiian Bread. What? Wow. You were around some celebrities. Whoa, that's cool. I didn't like the stuck up people or materialism. I like a low maintenance and my inner peace much more than competition. Yeah, I agree. Inner peace. I talk about it a lot, a whole lot, because that matters. Love you, leaving you. I have another meeting. Thank you so much. Have a great day. I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate your support. Have a terrific, terrific meeting. Be back soon. Sounds good. Sounds good. Humor is everything in a relationship. If you can't laugh with your partner anymore, something is very wrong. It could be an anchor. It could actually be anchor for it could spark something in a relationship, right? It can be that common ground. I think it's more than just a laughter. It's the point of connection. I really think it is. Summer Dream, I've heard that guys want to make their women laugh more than the other way around. Is that generally true? There are many women that will say they love men with a sense of humor. I think for guys, maybe is not. I think guys like the idea of it. I don't know if they place the same amount of importance on it. Um, but I know that women, communicate that even if you go on dating apps, sometimes I just read bios just to get an idea what people are looking for. Right now, since I'm talking about dating, it's like it's no longer just about going to dates. It's like understanding the psychological makeup of people. So a lot of women on dating apps actually nowadays they say, make me laugh, or if you can make me laugh, you will win me over, or love a man who with a sense of humor or something like that. So women making it known that this is important part of a relationship for them. They want to have a good time. They want to laugh. They recognize that as a big, and I don't want to say priority, maybe for some even a priority, but they able to voice that openly, and therefore they put a lot of emphasis on that part of it. So I would say that that generally it's true. Um, Generally it's true. Women really like it. Tara said, I prefer California for the beaches for sure. I didn't choose it. That was my hometown because of my dad. I got you. I understand. Have a good night. I'm starting to get cravings because it's 11 p.m. here. Got a blast. Cool. Thank you so much for stopping by. Enjoy whatever you're going to eat over there. New York has a lot of great food, so definitely enjoy it. My friends, let's see what else I had. What else I had on the agenda? We addressed one question. What do you do if a partner does not share a sense of humor that you do? One thing that I wanted to mention, and I think Becky alluded to it, there are different types of humor out there, right? There's a dark humor versus goofy humor versus dry humor versus situational humor versus like a comedy humor. Like you know, there's so much, there are so many options, right, when it comes to humor. But I think, like, at the end of the day, is it funny? Is it funny? You can say some dark jokes and make them hilarious, right? Um, one of my good friend James, he was actually on one of the some of you probably have seen him before. He was on one of the live shows, um, when we were talking about, I believe, what men want in a relationship. And James is like, what's really hilarious about him? He one time he was telling that story about frog. It was that frog frog had a name. I don't remember all the ins and out of it, but he told that story, and I'm like, dude, you've been telling that story for 5 minutes. I can't even follow anymore. What is the point? What is the punchline of the story? And it seems like he could, like, at least I could never really understand the punchline of the story. But the way he told the story, it was like such a, it was, he did it in such a dorky way. He was enjoying himself so much when he was telling the story that my friend and I was laughing, not because of the story, it was because of his delivery, because of how he felt about the story. So point being is not just about, you know, there are different ways to make things funny, right? It's not just the punchline. It's what you say, is how you say it, is, you know, your facial expressions, your tone of voice. It's all these different things that you have to consider when you talk about humor, right? And I just think there are so many different types of humor, and people can make it work. If you are a funny individual, you can make it work. I want to say, I feel like there's something else needs to be said when it comes to topic itself, right? So when we think about the role of humor in a happy relationship, I want to make kind of a closing remark before I make some closing announcements and look at your comments. The role of humor in a happy relationship is that it creates an extra building block, as I mentioned, but this building block of a relationship is a really long lasting one. That I can't talk. That extra building block of a relationship, I feel personally that it is going to be a more long lasting one, because it does not depend on money. It does not depend on physical abilities. It does not depend on all the other outside factors. It depends solely on the fact whether or not two people can have a blast together. If two people can have a great time together, whether because you choose to laugh at the comedy show, you choose to, act silly around each other, or because you're going to go and spend time with someone who you're going to be acting a fool with, right? Maybe some friends of yours, whatever it may be. These things are free, and these things are fun for your soul, and they are fun for your relationship, because if you can have fun with someone, if you can replace fighting and arguing with humor and enjoyable time, this is huge. This is very huge. This is monumental. Replace it, you know, like, replace it. And to me, I think that this is yet another reason why it's such a huge factor, is because people who are into humor, they usually like to be uplifting towards themselves or towards other people, or sometimes both. And when you have an uplifting individual, because again, I don't think that you can do both. I think, well, maybe there is, I'll take it back. Maybe there's people with, with the humorous side and with darker humor. that are still maybe not like, maybe they're not the best boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever. But I think I truly connect humor with the ability and potential. I said word uplift, but even if you don't believe that's the case, to at the very least make your partner feel better. And if you can make your partner feel better through laughter, it's going to improve the quality of your relationship. And this is why I think the role of humor in a happy relationship is a very significant one. This is the reason, because ultimately it will improve the quality of your relationship. And that's where I want to leave it. Let's look at a few comments before we get out of here. Shane said, "Hey, I gotta go, but just wanted to note that on 9:15 there will be a launch by SpaceX called Inspiration 4, first all civilian crew to go to space. It will be a 3-day flight, new era of space flight, guys. That's amazing. 9:15. Thank you for that. I appreciate that very, very much. I'm gonna screenshot that too. I'm gonna try to watch that live or something. Thank you. Cheyenne and I we talked about space and kind of nerd out about those things. We're both very much into universe and space, and it's amazing stuff. Thank you for that. Summer Dream, I am sleep deprived today, but I look forward to the next live stream. Good night. Good night. Thank you so much for joining in, Summer Dream. Eurodesno, my Russian crush jokes a lot. It seems he likes to make me laugh. I used to believe Russians were too serious. Now I know I was very wrong. D, by the way, I'm learning Russian. Привет, привет. Thank you so much for joining in, and thank you so much for commenting, Eurodesno. I appreciate it. Becky said, generally my humor is darkest when I'm trying to deal with my own misfortune. It makes me feel better. Yeah, and I think like, everyone will find their own way with that. I don't think there's only one way. I think there are many different ways to do it. So, you know, the fact that you're self-aware and you know what works for you is a good thing. My friends, before we get out of here, let's do this. Tomorrow topic going to be what you should cook for your Russian man. I know we voted for that yesterday, and this topic, the humor topic, um, came on top. But I want to circle back to food tomorrow, and I want to talk about that. I know a couple of you will be ecstatic about that. Again, if you want to be a live guest, please hit me up on Instagram, Russian Prototype, or on Twitter, Ruski Prototype. I would love to have you as a guest to share your experiences with Russian food. If you ever tried one, any dishes, or if you ever cooked any Russian cuisine yourself. So I would love to hear from you. Or if you have some ideas about what you would like to see tomorrow in terms of what you would like for me to talk about and mention on the live stream, please, please, please let me know. All right. We're going to resume tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, USA. All right. And we're going to talk about Russian food tomorrow. And hopefully, you'll be able to see sort of kind of connection between Russian food and Russian culture, because there's a lot of connection between the two. And I think we can talk about it briefly tomorrow. I want to acknowledge everyone who joined tonight. We had Strong Ballerina in the house. Thank you for being here. We had Becky in the house. Thank you for being here. We had Yoro Desno joining in the conversation. Appreciate you stopping by. Summer Dream was here before she went to get some rest. Thank you for hanging out. We had Cheyenne in the house. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing the information about the launch on 9:15. Looking forward to that. We had Tara in the house. Appreciate your participation and engagement. Have fun in New York. We had Jamie in the house. I think you might have went somewhere at the moment, but appreciate you hanging out. We had Kaya in the house with super sticker. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate your continued support and appreciate you engaging with the content and with live streams. We had Fee in the house. Thank you so much for stopping by. Not quitting, finishing. Never quit. But some of these live streams need to come to an end at some point, right? So we had a good discussion. I don't want to drag it out to where it's also becoming like just, I want to be able to pack it with some meaningful information, interact, engage, and then be ready to go. Plus, I'm still experimenting with this, family. I'm still experimenting with this, whether timing of which live stream is good, whether 10 p.m. is good. Next week, we're going to go back to 9 p.m. Eastern. I know this time is a little bit late, so I really appreciate for you being here. But Fi, thank you for commenting. Have a good evening. And of course, Heather is in the house. Prototypes fam, give this hashtag before we get out of here. Prototypes fam, in the chat, because this is what it is. This is amazing community. This is what it's all about. You know, it's about your engagement. It's about your ideas. It's about your comments. It's about the connection that we build amongst each other. With that being said, my friends, thank you for hanging out. Hopefully, you find some value in this topic, the role of humor in a happy relationship. If you currently don't have any humor or feel like you can have more, do it. Figure out what it is that you need to do to create more humor, more joy, and more happiness. Hopefully, it can ultimately lead to more happiness in your life, and pursue that. I know for me, it starts internally. It starts right here, and this is the way that I chose for myself. And therefore, you know, when I'm thinking about who I'm going to end up with in the relationship, I can't imagine this being, this grumpy person who just not enjoy laughing. I imagine it being somebody that I can laugh with, because such an incredible, almost remedy, an incredible time that you can have together. With that being said, I love the hashtags. Prototype fam is in the house. Thank you so much for hanging out, every single one of you. Have an amazing Friday. Tomorrow, as always, 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 be joyful, be happy, have tons of humor in your life, tons of humor, tons of situational fun. Embrace it, enjoy it, and of course, always be grateful. But that, Prototype is out. Peace.